best we can, and I'll keep reloading it if I have to. So where we are then, just before it crashed, is I've got my first attempt at Nanery, and attack bravely. There we are. So I'll hold that up to the camera. We've got it vaguely Naan shaped. This is going to prove for a second time. So we're going to put this in a lightly oiled baking tray. I'm going to end up needing more of these than I thought I was going to, because I've got 9 of them. Oh, you started to hug each other. That's not good. Say that, right. That's good fun. So, yes, had marvellous plans to bring fresh, beautiful Italian products to Twitch. I'm sure someone else already does that, but we were going to do it in our own distinctive style. But everything was shut. So we're going to recreate what we did, given everything was shut, which includes plenty of fresh pasta. There's going to be a speed round challenge. We're going to inspired by Gordon Ramsay. 10 minutes to cook a pasta and prawn dish without, I suppose, swearing like an enraged Scotsman. This one is not going very well. I'm going to gently start that one again without over-rolling it. Come on. I want it to look slightly like an arm. Well, I've realised the only place you can see it is here. Come on, let's do this properly. Let's see. Maybe that's why the app keeps crashing. This is boring. Let's show people more interesting things. Roll your Naans, sir. Roll it. I'm trying not to make it just look like a blob. This is starting to look more like a blob the more I try this. Just sculpt it, but no, that's even worse. If at first you don't succeed. Not too thin. This looks like it's going to be quite a plain one if we leave it like that. So let's scavenge a few more cumin seeds. So, yes. Trying to pronounce the unpronounceable, giornaria. If I say it fast enough with an Italian lilt, no one will know. Nobody will know. A nice light pickle that goes with a variety of meats, along with our 10-minute challenge. I've overset that. 10-minute challenge. I'd like to get to the point where we also maybe try and make some pasta as well. But it might be another sort of sticky, too sticky. Where we're better off preparing a lot in advance so we can just sort of drop into the stream of things that we prepared earlier. Otherwise there's a large lulls with baking and proving and doughs rising and second attempts, although I suppose at least you get here the benefit of me cussing and swearing and politely. Oh hello, this one's more non-shaped. Lovely, hey, va bene, hey. Sorry, wrong stream. The Italians were lovely about it there. Amongst the face masks and worried glances, just pleased that people were trying to speak their native language even if badly. Oh no! That one was really good. Oh, it's alright. Oh, no, it's going to fall off the edge. Don't do that. Don't do that. Right, there we go. 3. Sorry, that sounded a bit ominous. 3 is the magic number. Okay. Naan number 4. But lots of nice and big and exciting projects ahead. I'm ever so close now to be able to actually having a computer again, which will mean a nice interspersing of computer games, both myself and Mrs. Owl on some, myself just solo on another. Oh, sticky Naans, but we shall not be leaving cooking behind because I'm enjoying this immensely, and I've got a lot of plans for... Where are my cumin seeds gone? There. Hiding behind the tripod. Cowardly cumin seeds. No. That we are going to have a lot of fermentation and pickling as we go along. These are massive nuts. I've done this really badly. I'm going to have to try and rearrange these to fit them all on the tray. So, come on, behave. Oh. Right, I need a small one. I'm going to fit a small one on the end. That's a small one. Nope, that's a massive one. These are all massive. Okay, never mind, let's just crack and roll on. I'll show you the finished product. The important thing, I think, is to get these rolled out and get them going for their second proof. So, whoa, sticky one. And I have a large backlog of computer games I've not been able to get to, and I'm enjoying this immensely. So it's going to branch out just slightly, but let's face it, a bit of cooking, you can't often beat it. Unless, of course, you're a professional chef and you just want to go home and eat some baked beans. Joe, Mr. Nozzler, that's for you. They're baked beans, you see. They're a hashtag Branston Free Zone. For the bean revolution. A particular favourite I'm hoping to do very, very soon indeed is kimchi. I've been holding off from doing kimchi because I wanted the right equipment for the job. I have absolutely nothing to do a proper fermentation job for the likes of kimchi. But very soon, just get my hands on it. It's lovely elastic. I don't know, can't quite see it. I can't shine a light through, but if I hold it up to the light here that I got, it's very thin. It's gone from being sticky and unmanageable to really quite pleasant dough to work with. Although I am, in a very well prepared fashion, running out of baking trays because I think I've made it's just too light, perhaps it's overproofed, or I've made them too thin, which is a possibility. Right, maybe make a few that are a bit thick, not that thick. Oh no, come on. A patty or a splat, who knows? In it goes. What do you know? Small rhyme for the stream. So we've got a variety of games. I haven't ever played with an extension before. We're going to try a voting system. If I can get the stream and folks to see what games we've got, and anyone particularly wants to see one of them being played, maybe we can do it that way. I know there's a few that Mrs. Allen and I want to try together. Sort of nice, gentle, happy games for the middle of the week. We'll pick up with a pair of controllers, sitting on the sofa, chatting to the stream. Voila. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 2, 2. Well, I had them right here. Let's try and wrap up the rest of our cumin seeds. Yeah, I'm going to need another tray. Hold chat, hold that thought. I'm going over here for a second. So, very well prepared as ever. I could have measured these out. I could have even weighed them. I did none of those things. So it's not a washing up. ASMR professional stream. Anybody can do this. Oh dear. Thank God for boiling hot water. Alright, so last baking tray. Freshly cleaned. That is, I'm assuming anyone can actually see this, because if the Twitch app that I've got is crashing as frequently as it is, maybe it's stopping other people from watching. Who's to say? Who's to say? We'll find out. I'll see if it reports and says it. Here we are. Naan number 8. The oven is definitely hot enough now. No, this is naan number 9. I can't count. Naan number 9. Come here. Last naan. Right, I'm going to roll this one all around. Here we are. Get all the cumin seeds. Waste not. Well, use not, I suppose. Oh, you're part of the action here, folks. I'm smacking you around with a rolling pin. I'm just checking everyone's awake. Just checking you there. Nobody nodding off in the chat. Or, well, none of you. So this is, you know, viewers of the future. Ooh. Or this is not working, and yet again, like another stream, I'm in fact just stood in my kitchen talking to myself, much to the surprise of my neighbours. Probably Mrs. R when she comes down and says, you realise you weren't doing anything? Ah, right. So here we are. Here are the worst looking Naans you'll ever see. It's just awful. But, what the hell, it's a first effort. Things can only get better, as the song does say. Now, what we need is 10 minutes of proving. That's going to be. So if I just drop that over. Or lift it up and attach it to my arms, it's totally useless. Right, so we just lightly cover them. Hope it doesn't do what it did the first time, rendering all of this redundant. So that's number one. Please stay where you are. Come in, number one. Your time is up. Number two. Oh, sod it. Yes. This stream sponsored by Sticky Things. Things that stick other things. Imagine top quality broadcasting. What did you see from that gentleman that evening? Well, he was holding up some cling film to the camera and humming to himself. Right, so that's them covered. Give them just 10 minutes just to, well, I suppose sit back and relax is probably the closest thing we can describe to what they do. Yeah, so once these are done, we're going to be popping them into our preheated oven, 200 to 210 degrees, at which point I will probably be, well, not signing off, we'll sign off when we get them back out of the oven, but then we'll be basically sitting down and flopping into a chair because we actually managed to go to the gym today. And I'm going to fall over on my own accord, whether or not I want to or not. So, I've got the next couple of weeks pretty much mapped out in my own head. I'm going to put it up on social media, but I really, as I say, do want to cover the things we didn't get to do out in Italy, whilst we were busy dodging coronavirus, and people trying to sell us a coffee for €7. One should never do. But hopefully with the new equipment we should be able to have a better shot at the fermentation. We are ploughing through with great speed the sauerkraut that we got, the pickles, they're nearly all eaten, which means I'm going to have a lot of jars with which to start again. For anyone who ever goes back and watches these, the first attempt at sauerkraut may have left it too long. We left it to ferment and then put it into its various jars, but following the original sort of timings ended up with quite a soft sauerkraut. It lost maybe just a bit too much of its bite, but it's still delicious stuff. We've got some here. I accidentally opened up 2 different jars of it. So here we go. It's stayed that beautiful red colour and got that marvellous sort of zingy kick to it every time you open the jar. But we're down to the last few of these. But the next batch we're definitely going to do on the old live stream. Thinking of mixing in things like your mustard seeds, just to keep things a little bit crisper whilst it's fermenting. We've got our, let's see what else we've got. We've got the Naans sorted, our Venetian dishes, which should take us all the way through to April and beyond. But I think we're going to try and focus as much as we can on the fermenting because it's an interesting process to see. We can come back to it frequently. And little experiments like these two will keep them up as well. But until then, You've got 8 minutes of staring at naan bread. Riveting stuff, this. No, I can do better than that. Let's move them out of the way. I'll clean up whilst we're waiting. To be honest, they don't actually look like they're going to rise again, but what the hey, I'm going to follow the recipe. I'm going to follow the guidance given to me. I'm going to laugh my socks off when Mrs. L comes down and says, "You did it again." She's talking to an empty room. C'est la vie. C'est la vie indeed. Right. Let's clean that down. We're not going to need that again. Let's pop away our various ingredients. Actually, I'll always be interested to hear if anyone's got a preference or anything they think that they'd like to see or watch or see made. Always consider suggestions. Can't always guarantee we'll do them, because at the end of the day, we of course have to eat them. And I'm not going to go about making things I'm not that interested in having for dinner. I suppose that was fair. Here we are. Well, this live action table washing. Throwing ladles around. What are we doing? This is a carnival stream. Must be one of those moments where I should do dramatic readings whilst we're in the middle of I don't know. Someone give me a dramatic reading. Love that. Was it the forgot the name of it now. Big Fat Quiz of the Year, where they get the actor from Game of Thrones to do a dramatic reading. It's I've forgotten it. Charles Dance. That's it. Charles Dance. What a voice. Yes, we could do something like that. Suggest a dramatic reading, and in between proves if I've, as you can see, done everything that one can do apart from turning my back to you and doing the washing up. Just enthrall people with a reading of, I don't know, local newspaper, I suppose. But there we go. 6 minutes and counting. I can tell you, the naan breads are doing absolutely nothing. There they are. They are exactly as they were before. Yes. Listen to the crinkle. I think I've gone mad with power, really. Oh, damn, they are actually sticking. I don't know if you can see that. That's not good. I don't want that. I said cover it with cling film. Okay, you can hear Mrs. Owl in hoots of laughter. Pun literally not intended, literal hoots of laughter. From upstairs. Mr. Nosler, hello, how are you? And forget everything that I've been talking about in the stream, the one burning question, the important thing, how was that date? We've been dying to find out. Yes, and long time no see as well. You may have seen on the social media, we got slightly stumped in Venice. Joe in the house, Joe and Mr. Nosler, hello to you both. Lovely to hear from you. Sorry we missed out on Italy. We got slightly scuppered by appalling Wi-Fi, a lack of kitchen implements, and then coronavirus. I mean, as a 3 goes, it was pretty impressive. But forget all of that. Was your date all right, Mr. Nosler? Did you test her on the Branston to Hines question? I don't know why, but also I think I'm going to fiddle with the chat settings here, because I think it waits for about 30 seconds between a question and typing. I don't know if I've accidentally broken something. I haven't done that, but gents, as you can see, and from the title, we are part way through naan breads extraordinaire. They don't really look like naan breads, but they hopefully taste like them. Before we head off for the evening, we've got a little longer to go to get these cooked. We'll just do a quick taste test, see how they come out. How was your Venice excursion, barring the aforementioned? It was lovely, Joe. I thoroughly recommend Venice. I've been to it twice and fallen in love with it twice. The nice thing is even with everything closed, you can go wandering in the side streets. In fact, it's, the adage of the best way to find Venice is to get lost is not in any way misleading. I'll tell you why. I've seen on the here we are. because we decided to buy, we don't normally get ourselves gifts, but we bought ourselves a couple of handmade, Venetian made in Venice ceramic mugs. And we know that they are, because one, we asked the owner, but two, they've still got their maker's mark right on the bottom. So no made in wherever on the bottom. Yes, I did just check the bottom just to make sure. But we walked down the side street and found them and bought them. And then we went online to go and see if we could find out their name, their website, try and order some more. Does not exist. Cannot find them anywhere. And so we just, because we needed to avoid the crowds and everything was shut, we wandered the side streets. Found lots of lovely places to go and drink coffee. So if you've never been, I thoroughly recommend it. It is, even if you are stuck in the middle of coronavirus not ground zero, second ground zero, it's a marvellous place. And I know there was some, to be fair actually, I'm not going to be critical of people that said we cancelled our holiday because it was about 6 days. I mean, we arrived before it all happened and then it started happening, and then 6 days in people are saying, well, I'm cancelling my holiday. And you say, well, actually that's fair enough really. I don't think I would have taken Mrs. Owl to Venice, in fairness, if it had been 6 days after. But no, if it's not a place you've ever been, I can't recommend it enough. It's a marvellous place, and even though the tagline here is decaffeinated owl, sitting by canals and listening to the water and drinking macchiatones and watching the world go by is a lovely thing. Oh gosh, a long message. Hang on, can I read all of this without breaking it? For our 3-course meal, I've decided to go with hors d'oeuvre for our starter. Okay. The main being a Moulin Margaret. Blimey, Moulin Margaret. Somewhat of flavoured macaroons with it. Wow. Wow, I say. Well prepared. Got some D'Angelo on the background. Lit the candles. I'm just reading this. I'm supporting the force feeding of ducks. Mr. Nosler, are you by any chance pulling my leg, or did that actually happen? Come on, absolute honour. If that has got to go in a book somewhere, if that's true. You had me up to the point where it says all I could think of was beans. Bean and cheese toasty for dessert. Oh dear. If that is the case, I think all I can say is that was a tremendous thinking on your feet moment to back out of a situation the likes of which I have never heard and may never hear again. I think that's a marvellous reaction. That's real thinking on your feet moment there. But honestly, if you're going to cook for someone, they're not a fan of... honestly, if I had to have a date with someone, if I was having a date and say, look, I'm slight hyperbole, but yes, factual. Well, in that case, I'm stunned. If I was cooking for someone, I would at least expect them to have the courtesy to tell me that they were perhaps not a fan of, I don't know, whatever it might be, squid, duck in this case, because it's not bad to tell someone you've got food preferences, but to then just say, I won't eat that, well, you know, maybe tell me in advance, yeah, maybe. Right, that's my 10 minutes for these. So, do you know, I honestly don't feel they have risen. But, again, we're just going to follow the recipe. And now we blast them. Blast them in a hot heat oven. I have to summon Mrs. Owl from her conversation soon. So here we go. We're going to get all of these in one go. No, actually, we can't fit them all in. Come on. Right. 10 minutes. Actually, no, is it 10 minutes? No, it's five on each side, I think, to start. There we go. Oh, you know what? I'm not going to say. I think that sounds like a tricky date to me. And if Mrs. Hour here, she'd be laughing at the idea that I'm giving dating advice. I come from the 1800s, it seems. Not my forte. I think I'd have simply been incredulous and said, well, if you didn't want to eat something, why then, kindly leave my house. But let's face it, not many people have the bravery to cook for a date, so you get brownie points there from the start. So catching up, gents, we've got coming up a variety. I'm hoping tomorrow we're going to have a 10-minute cooking challenge, because I've stolen the idea completely from Gordon. I faced the Scottish weather Ramsay, and his, bless him and his craggy forehead, who does a 10-minute pasta and prawn dish, and we're going to see whether or not I can cook and match the 10 minutes that he managed, which should be interesting, I hope. We've got a variety of, we're going to do more pickling, we're going to do more fermenting, we're going to do the Venetian meals, we've not forgotten them. We're going to do an Italian pickle specifically, because we didn't get to do it whilst we were out there. And then we're going to move into computer games, hopefully within a month, which should be exciting for me. Well, it's exciting for me, I've not had a chance to do it for a while. More pickling. Well, if you've got any preferences, Mr. Nozzy, you can always shout. But at the moment, I'm thinking of doing the sauerkraut for a second time, because I think there are ways we could improve it, and I'd like to have another crack at that, having done a bit more research. I'm going to do the cucumber and shallots again, mostly because they're delicious. I think the same thing. I think maybe the mistake we made was we left them too long. In fact, hang on, let me bring them out again. No. Just whilst the Naans are doing their thing. Will you be prepping and or just cooking? Now, well, I'm going to get everything ready to go, which in fairness I think is how he did the challenge, in its various bowls. But I think things like washing and cooking the pasta, he didn't wash this in advance, for example. So I can't, for example, prepare prawns and cook them inside 10 minutes. So the things will be... I'll watch his video again. I'll make it an absolute challenge, but maybe just not impossible. But otherwise, I mean, he just seems to just barrel through with various bowls of prep. Now, the reason I want to have another go at the pickles is, as you can see, this is my last jar of this one, and it's kept really well. But this has been, pardon my fingers, the general texture of the cucumber ever since it started. I'm going to try that a bit closer, actually. And the reason is you can see, is it lost maybe just a little bit too much of its texture, because this was one of the thicker pieces. There's nothing wrong with it, but I think just a little less time will give it just a little bit more crunch when you bring it out of the jar, because once it goes into the fridge it just stops and just stays where it is. And really, just tap that off. The same sort of applies for the sauerkraut, because what I'd really have liked to have seen is you had just a little bit of just a bite and a sort of snap as you've done it. But as you can see, it's just like spaghetti, you can just bend it in any... No, it's a bad example. I'll eat that. It's very, very soft indeed. It's incredibly tart, though. I mean, I was sort of getting used to it. Bearing in mind, I really haven't eaten sort of... will I ever pickle brains? I think only if we get into an apocalyptic situation, Joe. Actually, no, not to be facetious. If you mean sort of like very traditional dishes, like eyeballs and the eyeballs of goats and brains, not really my thing. And oh, bugger, I meant to do that. I'll take that back out because I've had my hands on it. Again, because we're producing things for us to eat on a day-to-day basis too. I mean, we try and be pretty adventurous, and I had that bit as well. But I can't really see... Well, I mean, I wouldn't for a start. Not quite for me. I think if someone said, you've come to a banquet meal and we're prepared for you this delicacy, it would be in keeping with... It would indeed be in keeping with the naan. I think if you want us to get to the point of trying pickled brains, I think there are a couple of steps in between light kormas, naans, vegetable curry, goat brain. I think there's a sort of a sliding scale. I think we'd very much be leaving from 0 to 100 if we were going from... Oh, speaking of which, let's whip these out. Yes, oh, bloody hell. pardon my French, I've made bread. Oh heck, hang on. That does not seem right. What about pickling Rick? What's pickling Rick? Forgive my ignorance, I'll look it up afterwards as well, but what's pickling Rick, Mr. Nosler? And just whilst you gents are informing me, what I'm doing is I blasted it for 5 minutes on one side, and I'm just going to, with a clean cooking implement, rather than the dirty one I was about to grab. Bloody hell. Just flip that to the other side. I'll be honest, gents, this does not look like I thought it was going to. It looks like a bread. I mean, I know it's a naan bread, but there's bread and there's naan bread, if you get me. Oh god, this one's stuck right to the bottom. Oh bloody hell. I mean, blast. Right, hang on. That's nope, that's going to burn myself. That's a bad idea. Well, at least you have an apt apron for once. I hope you have very liquid platinum. Even my mother. I'm an original man, Joe. Still with the original. One of these days I'll slip it in the background and see if you notice. Description. Rick turns himself into pickle. Rick to avoid going to family therapy with... Oh, it's a Rick and Morty thing. I'm sorry, gents. I know nothing about Rick and Morty, save that my younger brother watches it. And I think once he laughed at my ignorance as to what it was about and my utter perplexion. Isn't an older gentleman and a young boy in time travel? It sounds like Back to the Future. Oh, good lord, this has gone for... Oh, no. Oh, damn. Well, 4 out of 10 have worked. Lost. These, I'm afraid. As you can see, something's gone wrong here, I think, gents. I'll show you all the errors, but there's lots of air pockets I wouldn't expect to see on the bottom, and I don't know if you can see if I can show you. It's very much stuck, despite the fact that this one was oiled too, so I'm not quite sure why this one has not worked where the rest have. But let's just see if we can redeem and salvage the situation. But I'll be honest, I'm pushing them gently, and they are, I can tell that they're turning back to dough with just a very small... I mean, oh, actually, I don't know, the edges, maybe I just need to give them a bit longer. Uh-oh, indeed. Uh-oh, indeed, Mr. Nosler. So, is that about my lack of Rick and Morty knowledge, or the Naan situation? Shan't ever hide a failing from you. Through failure is what we learn. It could be that it's about to turn itself around, because that's only 5 minutes, so let's whack on another 5. Lots of beeping. The explosives are about to go off. Yes, I have in fact now got an apron, it's very true. Although the camera angles, I should have made a note, Joe, because I know you jumped on once whilst we were testing. We finally got the camera angle right, and I can't seem to get it back again. So I'm going to have to possibly just have a play at some point, somehow, with it all turned off, just to get it right. And it's also about to fall out of the tripod. Highly professional stuff, this, gents. Highly professional. So I'll just squeeze you back in there. Marvellous. So, and there we are. Why not try and hob cook some papadum? Sure, normally I'd Google this, Joe, but you're here. What's papadum? Sounds interesting. Oh, that's actually, but if there's a delay, hang on, I got my Indian cookbook. Let's see, there's a papadum recipe in here. I must admit, I love these books. I don't know if you ever come across them. This one is not. This is, well, this isn't one of my the Faden books. They are cracking. Papadum. Let's have a look at papadum. Papadum. I've got no papadum here. Or do I? Hang on. I've got papad methi kisubzi. Is that close? This is rather embarrassing. Well, you know, it's good to show the mistakes, I think, Mr. Noz. This is not the perfect article. Well, I can't see papadu. What's papadu, Joe? Rather embarrassing. I revel in the embarrassment, Mr. Nosler. Can't be embarrassed. How come? We're British. We don't get embarrassed. Get mildly flustered here and there. Papadum is tantamount to... Oh, to poppadom. Oh, right. Oh, okay. Fair enough. Yeah, wouldn't be against it. I love a good poppadom. I'm always highly disgruntled when you get a bad poppadom. It's quite so disappointing, actually, as when you finally crave one and you get it. It's just sort of a wishy-washy limp affair, really. Mr. Nosler simply points with an arrow. Indeed, Mr. Nosler. Couldn't say it better. Right, 2 minutes to go. I'm going to peer into the oven. Are we making any headway? We are not. Although it has reminded me, so I've not totally failed here, that we're having dinner with these naan breads, so I should warm them up. The joys of the modern age and microwaves and stuff. So, I don't know if I've asked before, gents, but computer game-wise, you are our top 2 viewers, 2 of our first main viewers. Do you play computer games? Are there any sorts that you're interested in watching? I know that my family's got those that they play. Mrs. Owl's got her preferences. Shame we cannot see your myriad of cacti. Yes, it is a bit dark, isn't it? Actually, if you could... Hang on a minute. Let's see if I can... Oh, I made it worse. They've actually been joined by a whole bunch of other plants. Mostly because we find they need a bit of light at the moment. But here they are, just for you, Joe. Cacti and plants. All well. All very green.
It smells amazing, doesn't it?
Ah, Mrs. Owl has joined us. Hello, Mrs. Owl.
Hello.
Hello. Join the frame. We've got Joe and Mr. Nosler here.
Hello.
It is not going brilliantly.
Oh no, really, why?
Well, 5 of them are stuck to the tray. The other 4 have flipped. And to me, they just look a bit like bread. I know they're naan breads, but they look like proper loaf bread breads. Just peer in.
Maybe they'll flatten down?
Maybe. It could be that we've overimproved them.
Yeah.
But we'll give it another go in due course.
Well, they smell nice.
Well, there we go.
And it's bread.
It's bread, it's warming, it's comforting.
Yeah. I think I'll be happy.
How's your sister?
Good.
She's good?
Yeah.
Yes, I made the mistake of introducing her as you were talking to my sister-in-law. You being her sister came first. By a long way.
Yeah. Yes, it did.
Oh dear. So, we've got 15 seconds and then we're going to see whether or not these are... Well, I mean...
Oh, even with naan breads, do you do that
tapping?
Tap?
I'm going to, because I need to check that they're not made sort of essentially just doughy. Aha! Right. Let's have a look.
I'm excited.
So here we are. Oh, stop beeping at me. Right, hang on, let's lift... Ooh,
Wait.
Ah, that's hot.
Are you meant to have like knocked them back so that there weren't bubbles?
Yeah, I've already done that.
Oh. I think...
Well, actually, the tap's all right.
Ow, 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 ow.
Yeah, they're hot.
They look good this way though.
Well, if we have them that way, there we are, gents. Look, there we
Yeah,
go.
that looks much better than the way you presented them.
I think I'm going to give them just 5 more minutes on the... Ooh. What was that? Sorry, gents, we've got explosions going on in the background. What on earth was that? Is there anything visibly...
Nothing is visibly different.
Have any of the lights stopped working?
I don't know, did you have any of the lights on?
I didn't through there, no. Well, gents, not only have we got slightly odd naans,
That was really loud.
we've got a very loud bang's just gone off. So what we might do is I might just put these back in the oven.
What, do they need a bit longer?
I think they do.
Okay.
Would love to see some Just Dance content.
Just dance.
Preferably played via the Nintendo Wii or a Hateful Boyfriend playthrough. What's a Hateful Boyfriend playthrough?
And there must be a game called Hateful Boyfriend.
Oh, is there? Okay, right. Right, I'm going to leave you with
Nice and crispy.
Mrs. Owl for just a second. Oh, just for a minute. I just want to just check the fuses. You can tell the chaps what you think of them.
Nothing's fused. I'll check.
You check. All right, we're going to check the fuse box. That was I don't know if you got that from where you were, folks, but that was a very, very loud bang somewhere in our...
It's nice and crispy.
It's good and crispy, is it? Okay. Honestly, we haven't actually got a Nintendo Wii, but you know what? Mrs. Owl loves a good dance. I can imagine Friday night drinking contest. Who can do the most dancing? Just Dance would be quite the stream. Maybe it was the pans calling. I wish it was, but it came from somewhere. I'll be honest, I don't know where. It wasn't in the kitchen with us. Nothing's tripped.
I'm so confused.
Earth was that? Well, I can't see anything visit. Hang on, do that again. Turn on all the lights in there. It's that. Oh no, that bulb's fine. What the hell was that? I might do a bit of exploration. Anyway, yes. Apparently they're crispy, which is. Oh damn it! I wasn't timing it right. Stop beeping at me. Stop it. Actually, 3 more minutes because I don't want to overdo them.
The chaos that you cause.
I know, it's a bit of a mess. I'll clean it. I was just telling the chaps who were asking about our trip to Venice, and I was saying how exploring the back streets was a lot of fun. And,
yeah, it was good.
Yeah, and I showed off the ceramics that we found, and now can't find the company for love nor money.
Oh yeah.
Have you forgotten your Rice Krispies? Rice Krispies going off. Oh, do you know what? Actually, that might be fun to do some baking with like Rice Krispies and stuff.
Do you remember the Mars bar cake?
Oh, we should definitely do that.
It's not really cooking.
Gent, if you've never heard of Mars bar cake, it is, I think, shall we say, the height of culinary expertise. It is astonishing.
It's a heart attack waiting to happen.
It's a heart attack happening whilst you eat it.
It's so delicious.
Yeah, just melt. Was it melt Mars bars?
You melt 4 Mars bars and then 4 tablespoons of golden syrup. Pour in a load of Rice Krispies. Mix it up. Put it in the fridge to set. And then, if you want, melted chocolate and put that on top. But it's delicious.
Heart attack, maybe, but what a way to go! What a way to go! Sounds like a hell of a way to die. What was that? Was it a TV show or a book where I swear I'm not having a weird dream, but there was, I think it was Terry Pratchett or something, where someone died by jumping into chocolate.
I've never read Terry Pratchett.
No. Quality content. One Great British Calorie Fest. Yes, the Great British Calorie Fest. That'd be quite a good show.
It wouldn't. It would be like Man vs. Food, basically, wouldn't it? Where
what happened to Man vs. Food? Did
he died?
Did he die?
No.
No. That's quite a declaration. He died.
Didn't he have to like go on some mega diet? Or doesn't he like diet for the whole, like starve himself until he's filming the series?
Does he?
Because he has to eat so much horrible food.
Well, I know, what's his name? Bald chap, MasterChef. Greg Wallace, he does that. They diet a lot. No, it wasn't Augustus Gloop or Willy Wonka. No, it was...
but you know that...
But that did happen, didn't it? They...
Yeah.
Willy Wonka, murderer
factually.
by... Well, that's another thing, of course, never thought about fermenting, because they were asking chat, and they were saying... more pickling and fermenting would like to be seen. Mm-hmm. And of course never thought chocolate is fermented, but I never thought of chocolate as being fermented until we watched a YouTube video about it. But I don't think I'm going to be able to make my own, although it would be fun.
No. Where are you even going to get the proper seeds?
Yeah, you'd have to order them in. That might be a little tricky. I'd have to know a man on the ground. Here we go. 3, 2, 1. Right, that's the most I want to do them, because otherwise...
They're going to be too well done.
Yeah.
They seem quite crispy.
Yeah. Right, let's get them out.
Ooh, I like eating the crispy.
Smells quite good. What do you think? What's your view?
The crispy bits are overdone.
The crispy bits are overdone. Right,
Yeah,
okay.
yeah. But I don't know, let's chop one open.
So, yes, let's do this properly. Let's get a knife. Let's get a bread knife.
A bread knife.
would be appropriate, I suppose. Right.
That one and this
Want
one.
to do that one?
Yeah.
All right, let's whip that on so the chaps can see it. I was just saying, ever since we got the camera angle just so...
Do you want to use a chopping
Just going to
board?
just...
Okay, fine. Or you could have just...
Wow, that's...
It's very bready. It's not very naan bready.
No, something's...
It's very... Just... You've made actual bread
I've made bread.
that's flat.
I've made flat bread.
No, but it's not flat.
It's not a flatbread. I've made bread that is flat. What do you think?
Should we do that? Is it meant to bounce out or stay as it is? I don't know what the test is.
I think it's if it's also very hot.
If you can put it up into a
ball again. Which I'm struggling to do because of the crust.
Yeah,
but yeah, hot.
Yeah, on that.
Yeah, that's perhaps not a good sign that I've been
On
able
debate.
to. I've rolled the.
Oh, you know what you should have. Oh no.
I've rolled it, chaps, and again, I'm not going to hide my mistakes. I will make them in full camera. But I've just taken off the crust, and I've been able to roll it back pretty much into dough.
I'm enjoying eating it though.
I mean, we're going to have them, but it looks like I'll have to revisit the recipe because
I mean, it looks good.
I haven't actually eaten a bit yet. Let's just. What's that?
It's got a nice crust.
I mean, it's not bad. It's almost... Yeah, you're right, Joe. It does look like a pita bread, doesn't it?
Yeah, but pizza has the hole.
Yeah.
It doesn't even have that. It
No.
is just like bread.
I've made
That
some
happens
small
to be
loaves.
flat. You made some.
I've made some small Indian loaves.
I mean,
alright.
I'm not mad at it. The crust is really good. Is there no guidance about, you know how sometimes when they make bread on baker, they put the water in the bottom?
Yeah, there's no guidance like that.
Oh, okay.
Don't know what, gents. This is one to do again. I think we're halfway there. I think with some tweaks, this could be rather good.
We've got a lot of bread to eat.
Yeah, we might need to freeze them. We've got 10 of these.
Oh.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
It might be that I'm just really hungry, and so now I'm just... This is
Just-
meant to go with my meal, and I'm not waiting for my meal.
Okay, well, I shall stop you now.
Okay.
Right, gents. So, not only has Twitch crashed repeatedly as we tried to stream this,
Oh, but show these ones,
But-
because these ones look better.
I'll show you the ones that look
Those ones look crazy. These ones look really good.
Here we are, chaps.
These ones look cool as well. These ones almost look like ciabattas.
It-
Like
yeah,
the shape.
I've made 3 different types of bread here, folks. I mean, this one really looks ciabatta-like. This is
Yeah, with the flour on top.
yeah, with I don't know if you see the slight dusting of. I believe traditionally they cook naan in scorching ovens. Maybe you should try with high and. Maybe I did have it on 200. Maybe I should have gone even higher.
And what was the recipe? Did
It
it
said 200 to 210,
Oh.
and I went for 200 just because I'd made more of them and they were slightly flatter.
Maybe because there's more bread in the oven as well.
Perhaps.
That's the
Shall
thing.
I throw a few back in? Maybe these ones because they're
If you want to experiment.
maybe. But I mean, honestly, we've made some that look like pittas, some that look like loaves, one that looks like a ciabatta. I'm not quite. This is Goldilocks. Out of one bowl of the same porridge, some are too hot, some are too cold, some are just right. How have
Did
I
you
done
put
that?
salt in?
No, there was no cold. Oh yes, no, right at the start there was salt.
How much?
10 grams.
Okay. I feel like...
Do you feel something's missing?
Yeah, the cumin seeds give really good flavour. But then, I don't know, what do you think about the bread itself? I feel like that could have more flavour for like a home-cooked bread.
Yeah. Well, I think we could experiment. I think we could
Yeah.
throw some things into the actual.
This was fun.
Yeah.
I haven't been here, but it was fun.
You can watch it back
Okay.
and tell your friends about it.
Tell everyone.
Tell everyone we are here. And
Okay.
I refuse to do that. like, subscribe thing. I don't even know where the like button or the subscribe button is. I don't think there is one.
There's not one. Oh yeah, you can subscribe on Twitch, right?
Only when you get to a certain bit. I don't know. I talk, I chat, we play, and the guys who want to see us dance.
Okay. Why don't you try and do that? What's that move called? There's flossing.
Flossing.
Go on, try and do it.
Hang on. Is it that swingy arms? Okay, hang on. Some guidance here. Hang on. How do we do
Yeah,
this?
it is. It's like you put it behind you, and then out, and then in front of you, and then the other way, or something. I don't really know. I've never done
This
it.
is starting to look like a sea shanty. Hey ho, and up she rises. Hey ho, up to her. I don't know the words. And in the morning. Anyway.
Okay.
Marvellous.
On that note.
Round of applause for me. Right, on that note, yes, we've got dinner to eat. We have naan breads to spread across Instagram and say, you know what, doesn't always go right. And we're going to make a lot of mistakes doing this, but it's a lot of fun doing it. Chaps, lovely to chat to you both. Anyone else who's been quietly watching, not saying hello, say hello next time. We're very friendly. We like to hear from you. But we are going to call it there. We're going to be back tomorrow with a 10-minute challenge, which I'm genuinely quite nervous about. And I think this isn't what makes me nervous, but Mrs. Owl, I think I'm going to hand her the camera at some point, cool. So that you can. So I'll just be focusing on doing it, and you can.
Cool.
You can zoom in.
I'll be camera woman.
Cumin seed in the throat, gents. Lovely chatting to you. Have a marvellous evening. Hopefully you'll be here for tomorrow, where we'll be doing fresh pasta. And
not making the fresh pasta.
Oh no, not making the pasta. We've got fresh pasta.
Disclaimer.
Not making it. We'll do that at some point.
It's a Gordon Ramsay challenge.
Pasta, prawns, and anything else?
A saucy sauce.
Making a sauce. So a sauce pasta, and prawns.
Well, we don't have those. We need to get them.
Yes, that will be good.
Okay.
Please don't leave us again. I promise we won't be leaving for as long as last time. Sorry about that. I really did want to do that in Venice, but we just didn't have the chance. But we're going to recreate it. We're going to get the camera angles right. And we're going to see all of you tomorrow. So have a lovely evening, gents. We'll put some of this on Instagram. Bye-bye from both of us.
Bye.
Bye. And see.